What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we have the ultimate, the top of the top, the everything you want in a Wrangler finally here in one place. We're gonna do our normal thing. We're gonna take a quick walk around and get it out on the road. But guys, as you can see, this is the 392 Xtreme Recon. This is all of the things you want. This is the Xtreme Recon with the 456 gears. It's the 392 with the Hemi. You've got the 35s. You've got the factory 1.5-inch lift. It's just everything. It's all the things in one place. Now, obviously, under the hood, you have the 470 horsepower, 6.4 liter SRT powered Hemi, which already makes a Wrangler move extremely well, but this will be the first one I've got to drive with the 456 gears in the axles. The thing should be absolutely outrageous. It should move so much better than any Jeep should ever be able to move. Now, real quick, with the Xtreme Recon, you obviously get the cool factory beadlock capable wheels, the 35-inch tall tires. You get the kind of interesting little tire coverage wings here. The taillights even have a 1-inch extension, moving them out from the body a little more for more taillight viewing from the rear. You get the tire carrier reinforcement, the tire carrier bracket, all of that to help support that much larger 35-inch tall tire. And did I mention it's got quad dual exhaust with active modes? So guys, enough talking. The interior is very normal for a Wrangler, but let's get this thing out on the road and see how 456s with a 392 drives and feels. Taking off here in the Xtreme Recon 392, the ultimate Wrangler, the everything, the culmination of all of the packages, all right here. This is the one. This is the one you want. This is the one that is going to hurt really badly at the bank, because what I didn't mention was the window sticker, and it's $83,000. But with your $83,000, you do get the ultimate Jeep Wrangler. This is, like I said, everything all in one. The 392 Wrangler, which is already an extremely quick, fast, fun to drive Jeep, you're now adding 456 gearing to that 392, which is going to make this thing abusively quick, fast, up to speed, and just accelerate like a Wrangler should not be accelerating. Now, of course, these do have the 35-inch tall tires because it is a Xtreme Recon package. So you're going to have the larger tires versus those 33s. So that's going to take away, I guess, if you want to say, a little bit of that. But we are going to get on the highway here, set our cruise at 65 miles an hour in 8th gear, and see where we are cruising. Now, we are just a shade under 2,000 RPM here in this 456 geared 392. So we're what, 1,900 RPM probably? We're about a needle's width below 2,000 RPM. So you're still not going to be cranking RPM down the highway because of that crazy 456 gearing. So definitely don't let that scare you off from going Xtreme Recon with your V6, or in this case, the V8. Now, driving impressions going down the road, of course, it drives beautifully. It drives very nice, like every other factory lifted or Mopar lifted Wrangler. I mean, I've got hands off the wheel. It's tracking perfectly straight down the road. But one thing very cool about the 392 is that exhaust note, because with the exhaust open in the loud, rowdy mode, you do hear it behind you. You hear a little bit of drone, a little bit of rowdiness behind you, even just cruising down the road at 2,000 RPM. But with a push of a button, we've got the exhaust turned off in the quiet mode, and I almost do not hear it behind me. So if you're on that long road trip and you don't want to listen to the exhaust howling behind you the whole time, which you will if you have a 392, don't get me wrong, but you do have that option. If you were on a phone call or trying to have a nicer conversation in the vehicle, you could always turn the exhaust off and hear what people are talking about in the vehicle. But the second you're done talking, you're gonna wanna immediately hit that button, open the exhaust back up, because it just sounds ridiculous. A Wrangler that makes this kind of exhaust noise is, it's undescribable. What a cool feeling, what a cool sensation listening to it and hearing, even sitting here at idle, that exhaust burble. Now, another one of the cool things on some of these newer 392s and the Mojaves is the Off-Road Plus mode, which is kind of cool. Turns off traction control, puts it into a little bit more rowdy mode. I believe it supposedly changes throttle response and does a few things. So it pulls up the off-road pages, your accessory gauges, your trail cam, all of the cool things that are options or features with that 392. Now, fuel economy. The factory fuel economy rating shows 13 city and 17 highway with a combined of 14 miles to the gallon. Now guys, I wish we could get absolutely rowdy and floor this thing, but it is a brand new vehicle. It is very low mileage, so we can't beat on the thing, but we can roll into the throttle here and accelerate onto the highway and see how this thing feels. So we will come to a complete stop, as you would if you were merging or stopped, and roll into power. And even with moderate acceleration, the exhaust note, the 8-speed transmission, everything works outrageously well. And in no time, you're up to highway speeds and moving, and you can just tell that the thing wants to go. You can tell that that little quarter half throttle that I was giving it, it just wanted to go. I can only imagine what this thing would feel like under heavy throttle, full throttle with hard acceleration, because one of the things the 392 Wrangler has is the all-wheel drive all the time. Unfortunately, there is not a two-wheel drive position, but I think if it did have two-wheel drive, you would be absolutely roasting the rear tires at pretty much any time you accelerated hard. So, like the TRX, they've got these things stuck in all-wheel drive. Now, obviously, you do have four-wheel drive part-time, neutral, and 4-low for your off-roading, but the default position is the four-wheel drive auto or the all-wheel drive, whatever you want to call it. That is the position that these high-performance four-wheel drive off-road vehicles come in from the factory. Like I said, TRX, 392, they are all in the all-wheel drive position. But once you're back to cruising, it drives completely normal, and you wouldn't know that you've got 470 horsepower under the hood, absolutely ready to rip yourself down the road. And honestly, it probably doesn't get that much worse gas mileage than a lot of the other Wranglers out there lifted up on 37s with lesser gearing, because that engine is having to work a lot harder moving down the road. Well guys, I had to bring you guys out. This is the ultimate. This is the one you want, and the one that's extremely hard to get due to availability. But if you can get your hands on one, this is the end-all Wrangler. I don't know that they can top this thing in a JL platform. It's everything. It's the motor, it's the gearing, it's the tires, it's the bead locks, it's the suspension, it's everything. It's the ultimate Wrangler, and I think that's where I've got to leave it on. This is it. So guys, thanks for coming along and riding with me in the ultimate Jeep Wrangler. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.